The trial has captured national attention and is being closely watched across the region. Let's first recap a few key moments so far regarding the previous proceedings. On day one, the defense challenged the constitutionality of the charges, arguing that the suspended first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar enjoys immunity under the peace agreement. The prosecution countered that the severity of the charges, including treason, terrorism, murder and crimes against humanity, demands that the case proceeds ahead. On day two, the defense expanded its argument, insisting the special court has no jurisdiction and that any prosecution of high office holders must follow the revitalized peace agreement. As we'll be bringing you more on the proceeding as it continues, I'll hand over to my colleague Matthew Joseph for more analysis of the court proceeding of day 3. Matthew.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Freedom Hall. My name is Matthew Joseph. So we are back to the court proceedings in the case of against Port Kangchwal and 7 others. And today's attendance has gone up compared to previous days. People are coming in. The prosecution team is already in the room. The defense team already has taken up their seat. Defense team not yet arrived. The 3 judges have not yet arrived, but they expected to be arriving so soon. And that one will make the proceedings commenced. And in attendance from the SPLM-I0 leadership, we have former Minister of Health Yolanda Welding is in the courtroom. Former Governor of Western Bargazal State Emmanuel Primo Okello is in the room. Interior Minister Angelina Teng, former Speaker of the Council of States Deng Deng Akon, already in the room. And regarding this, the prosecution team formally rejected to the defense preliminary submission challenging the court's legitimacy and jurisdiction. The government lawyers argued that the special court was lawfully constituted under the Transitional Constitution and the Judiciary Act of 2008 with full authority to hear serious crime matters. They stressed that immunity provisions in the Constitution do not shield the Vice President from prosecution for grave crimes. On the question of the revitalized peace agreement, the prosecution clarified that while hybrid court is envisioned, national courts retain primary jurisdiction to prosecute offenses under domestic law. South Sudan, they stress, is a sovereign state with functioning judiciary and cannot delay justice because of pending international mechanisms. The government lawyers concluded that the defense objections were legally unfounded and argued that the court to dismiss them, allowing the trial to proceed. A lot more will take place today as we expect the 3 judges to arrive, to let the proceedings commence. I will hand over the microphone to my colleague Peter Mori to give you more updates regarding the proceedings.
Thank you, my colleague Mathiang Joseph and Leila Osman. Viewers and listeners of SSBC, good morning and welcome to this live broadcast from the Freedom Hall in Juba. We are here awaiting the arrival of the defense team and the judges for the court proceedings to start. This is the 3rd day of the preliminary hearings of the special court to try the 8 accused members of the SPLM-I0 on the Nasir incident. the hearing was adjourned from yesterday to today because the judges said they need ample time to study the documents submitted to the court by the defense team and the prosecution team on the jurisdiction of the court. And as a reminder, this is a special court established by the Chief Justice to try the accused persons on the incident of Nasir. The 8 accused persons are already in the court. As I mentioned, the defense team has not yet arrived, but the prosecution team is already here. So they are actually arrived. They are still outside. They have not yet entered into the courtroom as we await for their entrance into the room and then the entrance of the judges into the room. Let me give the mic to my colleague Marvin Justin to give you some insight, some in-depth on Arabic language. Martin, you are most welcome.
Thanks, my colleague Peter Murigami, Smithiang, Joseph, and Layla Osman for the brief outcomes that you put. Now, مرحبا بكم السادة المستمعون والمشاهدون الكرام في كل مكان عبر قنوات SSBC الإذاعية والتلفزيونية. نحن في بث مباشر أو نواصل في بث المباشر لمجريات محاكمة المحكمة الخاصة لمحاكمة وزير البترول السابق الموقوف، ليس السابق الموقوف، ومعه 7 من المعاونين من بينهم الدكتور رياك ماتشار النائب الأول لرئيس الجمهورية الموقوف أيضا. وهذه المحاكمة تتعلق بأحداث ناصر ووجهت أو توجه لهؤلاء المتهمون تهما تتعلق بالتآمر ضد الدولة، تمويل الإرهاب، وأيضا تدمير المرافق والمنشآت العامة والعسكرية. وفي هذه المحاكمة ما نشاهد الآن دخول أفراد من هيئة الدفاع. الآن هم يدخلون لي أماكنهم، وفي وقت سابق أو في زمن سابق دخل هيئة الادعاء أو هيئة الاتهام لقاعة المحكمة. أيضا لاحظنا دخول المتهمون 8، والآن رئيس هيئة الدفاع يلقي التحية للمتهمون 8 الذي من بينهم المتهم الأول الرئيسي بوتكانغ والدكتور ريك مشار المتهم الخامس، ومعه 6 من المتهمين. عرض بسيط سريع لما حدث في الأيام أو اليومين السابقين. اليوم الأول كان يعني هيئة الدفاع رفع شكوى ضد أهلية المحكمة وعدم دستورية محاكمة النائب الأول الموقوف بحجة أن مواد 103 104 من الدستور الانتقالي القومي لجنوب السودان لا يسمح بذلك. ولكن هيئة الادعاء رفض ذلك الأمر وأشار أن رغم دمج اتفاقية السلام في الدستور الانتقالي إلا أن المواد 103 لم يعدل في تعديل الأخير عام 2020، ولذلك لا يعطي يعني حصانة لي النائب الأول لرئيس الجمهورية وغيرهم من النواب، يعني حصانة كحصانة الرئيس في الدستور الانتقالي. يعني جلسة يوم أمس كان بالأساس لتقديم الرد المكتوب من قبل هيئة الادعاء، وبالفعل المحكمة تسلمت الرد المكتوب من قبل هيئة الادعاء، وطلب أن يعطى مهلة لليوم لكي يتم دراسة الشكوى ودراسة الرد المكتوبين من قبل هيئة الاتهام وهيئة الدفاع. فنحن في قاعة الحرية اليوم نتوقع أن يأتي القضاة الثلاثة بقيادة البروفيسور جيمس ألالا لكي نستمع إلى نتيجة ما تم التوصل إليه من خلال دراسة الورقتين، والورقة المقدمة من قبل هيئة الدفاع وأيضا الرد المكتوب من قبل هيئة الادعاء. نحن سنكون معكم في بث مباشر من داخل قاعة الحرية، ومن خلال الملاحظة العامة في إطار تغطياتنا داخل قاعة الحرية نلاحظ أن اليوم يشهد قاعة الحرية ازدحام جميل أو تدافر جميل من قبل المتابعين لوقائع هذه الأحداث، وأيضا للمهتمين خاصة المحامين يعني الذين يعملون في الحقل القانوني، هم داخل القاعة ويدرسون هذه القضية التي يعتبر فريدة من نوعها والأول من نوعها في جنوب السودان. يتم فيه محاكمة كبار مسؤولين في الدولة بتهم كهذه، وكما ذكرت سابقا أن التهم الذي وجه لهؤلاء المتهمين تهم تتعلق بالتآمر ضد الدولة، تمويل الإرهاب وتدمير الممتلكات العامة والعسكرية. ومن بين هذه التهم نريد أن نرى أهلية هذه المحكمة بعد أن يعلنها قضاة المحكمة. هذه محكمة تسمى المحكمة الخاصة، كون من قبل رئيس الهيئة القضائية حسب القانون قانون الإجراءات القانونية للقضائية جنوب السودان للعام 2008 الذي يعطي الحق لرئيس الهيئة القضائية كي يكون المحكمة الخاصة في النظر في مثل هذه المحاكمة. نعم بشكل بسيط أيضا الآن نرى في شاشاتنا اليوم الآن هيئة الدفاع يلقي التحية لهيئة الادعاء في جو ودي جميل. الأمر لا يتعلق بمرارة القلب ما شابه ذلك، لكن هي صراع قانوني، والقانون هو الذي سيحكم على كل شيء. نعم عرض بسيط لما جرى في اليومين السابقين، ونحن في بث مباشر من قاعة الحرية هنا في جوبا، مقر الذي حدد لإجراء هذه المحاكمة تحت إدارة المحكمة الخاصة. نعم قضاة هذه المحكمة لا يأتون من أي محكمة أخرى بل هم من المحكمة العليا، وهذه المحكمة مسؤول منه رئيس الهيئة القضائية، وهو المنوط بتعيين هؤلاء القضاة للنظر في مثل هذه القضايا. هيئة الدفاع رفع عدد من الشكاوى، من بينها أن أحداث الناصر يجب أن يحال أو يجب أن يقدم لمحكمة الحجين المنصوص في الاتفاقية المنشطة، ويجب أن ينظر أو يقدم لعدد من الهيئات خاصة الإيجاد الاتحاد الأفريقي وغيرهم من الضامنين للاتفاقية، ويجب أن ينظر في ذلك الأمر. هيئة الادعاء قال أن هذه ادعاء لا أساس لها من الصحة، لأن الدولة ذات السيادة و لديها قانون خاص يحكمها، فبالتالي المحكمة القضائية أو قضائية جنوب السودان هي المنوط بمحاكمة هؤلاء، وأن حادثة ناصر لا تتعلق بما حدث في الأعوام السابقة قبل عقد اتفاقية سلام المنشطة. نعم نعود للزملاء لكي يواصلوا في بقية ما تبقى من التعليق.
Thank you so much, Martin, for giving our people this full information about the court and its proceedings for the benefits of our people and our citizens who are in Arabic, who are getting their informations in Arabic. Viewers and listeners of SSBC, we are still here continuing with this live broadcast from inside the Freedom Hall in Juba, in this special court, looking into the case of the accused 8 persons on the Nasir incident. Everybody inside the court has taken his or her place. The court is just waiting for the arrival of the judges so that the proceedings for today will continue. And as the presiding judge said yesterday, that this court is open to the public and to the media as well. That is why in today's attendance, the number of the public or the people have really increased from yesterday. And the other thing also to bring to the attention of the viewers and listeners of SSBC, that the media houses, the other media houses are also today in the room. Today is not only SSBC who is covering this special court or the proceedings of this court, but other media houses have also been allowed to cover the court, as the presiding judge announced yesterday. As I said, there are 8 accused persons, and the lead accused is Port Kangchol, the suspended Minister of Petroleum, plus 8 others. A bit of background on Port Kangchol. Port Kangchol is a South Sudanese national born in Nasir County, Upper Nile State. He is married. He completed his primary school in Dima refugee camp in Ethiopia and attended Kiba Secondary School in Ethiopia. Port Kangchol was trained at Cavendish University in Kampala, Uganda, and graduated with a bachelor degree. Before joining the SPLM-I0, Port Kang was the executive director for Anne Itolia Nardo, the then Deputy Secretary General of the SPLM, in 2010 in the then Southern Sudan. Port Kang became the Director of Membership and Recruitment Affairs of the SPLM office. When the conflict broke out in 2013, Port Kang, along with some SPLM members, fled the country and later joined the SPLM-I0 under the leadership of Dr. Riek Machar and was then appointed as the leader of the SPLM-I0 Youth League. After the signing of the revitalized peace agreement in 2013, Port Kangchol returned to Juba and was appointed as the Minister of Petroleum in the revitalized transitional government of national unity. In March 2025, Port Kangchol was arrested in Juba for unspecified charges in the Nasir incident, and he is today seated at the courtroom along
Yes, viewers of SSBC, from wherever you're tuning in, as you're still watching us live, as you've been seeing our colleagues down at the courtroom, Freedom Hall, been giving update on what is transpiring there. We've been just expecting in few seconds to come, the 3 panel of judges will be arriving, the presiding over judges will be arriving at the venue, and immediately the court session will commence effectively. Of course, viewers, this is the 3rd day of the court session of the suspected Port Kangchol and 7 other opposition members that include Dr. Riek Machar, who happened to be actually in this case due to the fact that in March this year there was incident that happened in Nasir that culminated to what happened today. And let's start by looking back to or highlight on the 2nd day. Yesterday, of course, was the 2nd day of the court proceeding, and during the courtroom, which is presided over by the Justice Dr. James Alala Deng, the court began formally with the introduction of the number of advocates from both sides, the prosecution team as well as the defense team, and the 8 accused. And today, of course, with yesterday's move that was taken by the presiding over Judge Dr. James Alala, he had actually opened the court to public, because he said it is important for public to be part and parcel of this unique event. And you can see today from our viewers, as you've seen our reporters down at the courtroom, they have relayed to you, they have shown you how much the courtroom today is very full. Freedom Hall is full, and that alone shows, this is what we call the partiality and the credibility that the government has been saying, that this court process will be credible to people of South Sudan. They will be hearing everything that is happening in the courtroom. And SSBC, through our YouTube channel, that is SSBC Official, we are also streaming live, and we are streaming live on all our radio stations as well as the TV station for those who are able to, get your phone, log into YouTube, SSBC Official, you'll be watching. As you could see, the accused are already at the courtroom. We are saying that we have 8 accused, and the first suspect is Port Kangchol, led by the rest who are including Dr. Riek Machar. The courtroom, of course, we have 3 panel of presiding over judges, of which we are waiting for them. They will be coming shortly. We have 3 judges from the Supreme Court who are assigned to carry out this task. This includes Justice Dr. James Alaladeng, the presiding over judge. Then we have Justice Stephen Simon, and we have Justice Isaac Pur Majok. These are some of the juries who are given this task to ensure that they accomplish this important task. And the other thing is, viewers, we have 4 consul generals in the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs who are members of the prosecution team. 4 consul generals who happen to be part and parcel of the courtroom. Then we have 7 advocates who are members of the prosecution panel, led by the prosecution panel. It will be led by Maulana or Advocate Deng Achwil Adija, who is also a member of Council of Generals in the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Then we have 2 investigators who are from the police. These are the people who actually carried out some of this investigation that led to some of the charges that we have been actually related to, or which were read previously by the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, among which including treason, murder, and terrorism, among others. These are some of the fact that due to the 2 investigators who carried out this effective work. The other thing is that we have 1 complainer who is from National Security, Internal Security Bureau, and he is a complainer. He is part and parcel of this courtroom. We have 6 advocates. These are the defense team representing the team of Dr. Riek Machar Teng and the 7 other accused, and led by Dr. Gary Raimondo Lege, who is actually the lead team of the defense team. Then we have 8 accused, including number 1, the first suspect is Pothkang Shol, the second is Mampal, then the third is Gadwich Lampoth. We have Lieutenant General Gabriel Doplam. We have Dr. Riek Machar is suspect number 5 according to the list filed by the case. We have number 6 is Brigadier General Camilo Gatmai. Then we have number 7 Mading Riek Yak, and then number 8 in the list of the suspect is Dominic Gatkok Riek. Some of the few quotations that we will read to you from the Legal Justice and Rules of Law from various scholars across the globe. For example, a scholar like John Locke once said that, and I quote, "The end of the law is not to abolish or restrain, but to preserve and enlarge freedom," and that is the end of the quote. The second thing is, the case on a trial is basically a structural process where the facts of the case are presented to the jury and they decide if the defendant or the accused is guilty or not guilty of the charges offered. This is what will happen as we continue, because as now, up to now, viewers, the court is still establishing its session, is still establishing itself. It is both from the prosecution team and the defendant team. The defendant team were saying that they wanted some bit of jurisdiction and so on and so forth. They cited some legalities in the process, but then also the prosecution team, as from yesterday, managed to write full detail of the report submitted to the presiding over judge, Dr. James Alalab, and copy was also handed over to the defense team, defending their ground that this court process is legal, and the court process and the court established, the special court has the jurisdiction to be able to try the case at hand, the case of the 8 accused who happen to be, as you could see them on the TV, they're already on the ground, they are in the courtroom awaiting the presiding over judges. It is also essential that justice is done, and it is equal vital that justice is not should not be confused with revenge. The 2 are wholly different. Therefore, our people must allow, our South Sudanese must allow the law to take its course, but not to think it is a revenge. We all have to make sure and adhere. As today you've seen, viewers, number of people turn up. This shows that the case at hand, it is the public has to go and listen and hear what is happening, and then as they judges, or the judge also has to preside over this case to ensure at the end of the day law or rule of law has to take its course. What does it mean? It means that if the suspected individuals are found to be innocent, they will be free. And if they are found to be guilty, it depends on the process, as we cannot judge, and it is upon the defending team and the prosecution team, as well as presiding 3 panel of judges who are competent, of course, who are competent, and they can be able to lead the process until the end. You could see some of the viewers, some of the pictures that is actually at Freedom Hall right away, where you're seeing a number of the prosecution team as well as family members, because the court is open, and you could see them all gathering. They are waiting just in a few seconds for the juries or the 3 panels of judges to arrive. Then the session, that is the 3rd session of the court proceeding of suspected Prof. Kang Shol and the 7 other SPLM members, is start immediately. And of course, viewers, we say that this process, it has to be transparent. SSBC is relaying this process live. We don't do record. We are doing it live, and it is live on the ground, and it is live on our YouTube channel. For those who are having phones, just log into SSBC official on YouTube. You will get us streaming live. And those who are having an Facebook account, also those who are having Facebook, log into SSBC official. You'll also find us live. So we don't do anything undercover. We do it as being directed by the leadership and by the presiding over judge. As you've heard yesterday from Dr. Justice James Alala, he said this court proceeding has to be for public consumption. That means public must know, and the government must know what is happening. It's an independent process that we do believe that it is an independent process that has to go all the way. No matter how much it's going to take, it has to reach the end. And this is what SSBC is committed, and they ensure, the management of SSBC is committed to ensure the process goes up to the end, and the court proceedings and the end of the day is that either the suspect are proven to be guilty or they're proven to be innocent. That is now what is not in the hand of SSBC, but it is in the hand of the presiding over judges. With that, viewers, we will be saying in a few while, we are expecting to see the arrival of the 3 panel of judges. As I've said in the beginning, the panel of judges, of course, they are represented by Justice, that is Dr. James Alala, who happened to be the one presiding over this event, and we have some of his co-justice, or some of the juries who are supporting him, Justice Stephen Simon, and then we have Justice Isaac Purmajok. Then we have 4 members of council generals in the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. We have 7 advocates who are representing the prosecution panel, led by Advocate Deng Achwil Adija, and then we have also 2 investigators from the prosecution side. Then don't forget, we have also 6 team representing the advocates who are on the defense side. These are 6, headed by none other than Dr. Gary Raimondo. And today, of course, they will be sitting together and hear the reply, because we said yesterday there was a reply that is written, submitted to the jury, to the presiding over judge, and also copy was given to the defense team. This alone, it is on the establishment of the special court. As we speak, we have not yet opened the case. The cases level against the 8 accused has not yet been opened. But few minutes from now, as soon as the court or the presiding over judges now accept all the claims that are being raised or put across by the 2 sides, then the process can kick out immediately. Viewers, I will connect you back to my colleague at Freedom Hall, and let's see if the panel of the judiciary or the judges arrived, then we can start. Stay tuned, continue to watch us. As we said, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook. Just log in SSBC official and you get us streaming live. Let's connect to our colleague at Freedom Hall. As you could see, the suspected individuals are already at the courtroom, and the courtroom, of course, today is full, accessible to public, to members of public, provided that you adhere to the rules and regulations of the courtroom. You could see Freedom Hall today is different from the first day. This alone, to those who are doubting, who are saying, no, the courtroom is not going to be fair, it's not going to be... Now you could see by yourself. It is live, and nobody does any editing on the live coverage. So let's connect to my colleague. We have down on the courtroom, we have my colleague, Matiang Joseph, we have Mori, and we have also Leila Osman, and we have Martin Justin Kose. These are some of the SSBC crew who are covering from there. Let's get to them and hear more.
Allowed and the public as well. So long that if you are South Sudanese having the nationality, you can move to the court premises to take part in the proceedings. These were the words stated by the presiding judges yesterday during the adjournment of the proceedings until today. You know, the proceedings are still at the early stages. Defense team and prosecution team is still arguing how the court should proceed. The bigger point here is immunity. The defense argued that the first vice president cannot be prosecuted, but the prosecution counted that immunity applies only to president, not to other office holders. In their view, no political position should shield an individual from accountability. Revitalized peace agreement, the prosecution stresses that while a hybrid court is planned, national courts retain full competence to try serious crimes under domestic law. They framed these as both a matter of sovereignty and of justice not being delayed. So in summary, the prosecution's message is clear. The court has the power. The accused has no immunity. The South Sudan as sovereign nation has got its laws, the law of the land, to try serious crime. So the court proceedings are expected to commence as the presiding judges arrive to the venue. From now, let me hand over the microphone to Leila Osman, the only lady among the men covering this live.
Yeah, thank you, Martin Joseph. Actually, it's not the only women. I think there are some female journalists from other media houses, so I'll need to correct you for that. I'm not the only female doing the coverage here. So actually, thank you, Martin, and my colleague Peter Mori, Martin Kose, for the updates. Just as a reminder of what is happening actually regarding the case, as of September 2025, the most prominent high-profile trial in South Sudan is against Port Kangshwal, the suspended Minister of Petroleum, and 7 other political and military officials. The group is accused of treason, murder, and crimes against humanity in connection with an attack in Nasir in March 2025. Just a reminder again about the suspect, that is Port Kang, aged 40, according to order. And then Mampal is aged 27. A businessman, and then Gatwish Lam, a member of parliament, aged 66 years, and Lieutenant General Gabriel Doplam, deputy chief of the SSPDF, and aged 53 years. Then followed by Dr. Riek Machar, who is in 5th position in according to the judgment procedures. The suspended first vice president of the Republic of South Sudan, who is 73 years old. We have in number 6 Brigadier Camilo Gatmichael, head of administration and finance, Transitional National Security Committee, aged 47. Then we have number 7 Madin Yakriak, a signal personnel radio operator, aged 45 years, followed by the 8th suspect, that is Dominic Gatcock, Riak, a generator operator in the office of the suspended first vice president, who is aged 57. Just maybe a reminder again about the charges. The charges are as a result of the March 2025 Nasir incident, where the White Army militia overran a South Sudan People's Defense Forces SSPDF base. The attack resulted in over 250 deaths, including senior SSBDF officers. The government alleges the 8 accused are allies of the suspended first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar. For more update, as we've maybe in regard to what is happening in the courtroom is full actually compared to day 1 and 2, and the situation looks a little bit calm from observance within the hall. And I'll hand you over to my colleague Peter Mori to give you more updates.
Thank you so much, my colleague Leila Osman. I just need to give our listeners and viewers of SSBC a summary about the issue of immunity of the first Vice President. According to Article 103 concerning immunity, it says the President shall be immune from any legal proceedings and shall not be charged or sued in any court of law during his or her tenure of office, notwithstanding sub-article 1 above, in case of high treason, gross violation of this constitution, or gross misconduct in relation to national affairs, the President may be charged before the Supreme Court upon a resolution passed by a 2/3 majority of all members of the Assembly. The President of the Supreme Court shall, within 7 days after receipt of the impeachment notice referred to Article 2 under sub-article 2 above, constitute a tribunal comprising 3 judges of the Supreme Court to evaluate the allegation in the notice and to report its findings to the Constitutional Panel of the Supreme Court. The President shall be entitled to appear at the proceedings of the tribunal and to be represented by a lawyer or other expert or any other person of his or her choice. If the Constitutional Panel convicts the President, it shall communicate its final verdict to the Assembly, and he or she shall be deemed to have forfeited the office. If the notice for the removal of the President is on the grounds of mental infirmity or physical incapacity, it shall be based on a report submitted to the Assembly by a medical board consisting of qualified and eminent specialists from the Medical Commission in respect of the alleged infirmity or incapacity. Viewers, according to this Article 103, there is nothing mentioned of the first Vice President or the Vice President. That means the only immune person from impeachment is His Excellency the President. And Article 104 says appointment and removal of the Vice President. The Vice President shall be appointed by the President subject to approval by a 2/3 majority of all members of the National Legislative Assembly. The Vice President may be removed by the President or by a decision passed by 2/3 majority of the members of the National Legislative Assembly. If the post of the Vice President falls vacant for any reason, the President shall appoint a replacement. The Vice President shall fulfill the conditions of eligibility for the office of the President as prescribed by this Constitution. To assume office, the Vice President shall take before the President the same oath taken by the President as prescribed by this Constitution. So far, this is what Article 103 and Article 104 said about the Vice President and immunity of the Vice President and the President. With this, let me pass the mic to my colleague Martin Justin.
نعم أيها السادة والسيدات المتابعون الكرام في كل مكان، كما نلاحظ أن دستور الانتقال لجنوب السودان وحتى اتفاقية السلام المنشط لم يحمي كل من النائب الأول والنواب الآخرين من هذه ما يربي المثول أمام المحاكمة. فقط أعطى الحق للرئيس لأن يكون له الحق بعدم أن يمثل أمام أي نوع من المحاكم إلا بعد انتهاء فترة الولاية. ونعم سيداتي وسادتي، نحن ما زلنا في انتظار قضاة هذه المحكمة الخاصة لكي نبدأ إجراءات جلسة اليوم، جلسة اليوم الثالث من إجراء المحاكمة. نعم، حسب ما نتابع في الكنترول نريد أن نعود لاستديوهاتنا الرئيسية في نيكورن ونتابع من داخل الاستديو هناك مجريات هذه المحاكمة.
Thank you so much for joining us. Still, you're watching us live from Juba and a live broadcast of the third session of the court proceedings of the suspected port control, among other 7 individuals who are from military and political background of the SPLM-I0. And these individuals, of course, the court is taking place is due to the 3rd of March incident that occurred in Nasir, which has actually culminated to the death of more than 250 SSPDF soldiers, plus the killing of Major General Majur, who happened to be killed, as well as one. So viewers, the presiding over juries or the presiding over judges are getting on the courtroom, and as you could see them marching or coming up, this alone will tell us that the process is starting. And let's continue to watch and see what will be the end or the outcome of today's gathering or today's court proceeding. Let's watch and back to Freedom Hall.
Please sit down. As usual, we start by taking the attendance of the parties. Maulana, you are welcome.
Attendance, please.
My Lords, Honorable Court, in the presence of Consul General Deng Ashwil Adia, in the presence of the investigator, the complainant, and the team of the prosecutions. Thank you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الأستاذ كورلو الكور عن هيئة الدفاع وبحضور المتهمين من الأول حتى الثامن.
Yes. Honorable Court, we do have objection on the appearance of some advocate with the defense team who are not licensed, and this is a clear violation of the Advocate Act, section 26 sub 1, which read as follow: an advocate shall renew his or her license at the end of January every year. Failure to renew his or her license, the license shall be deemed to have been suspended until renewed. And these advocates are as follow: Advocate Deng John Deng and Advocate Wurnyang Kir Wurnyang. Therefore, the prosecution is requesting those advocates to be sent out of the defense team until they regularize their license status under the Advocate Act 2013, and we are hereby submitting the list of the Bar Council indicating advocates who are enrolled. So it is unfair to allow advocates who are not licensed to present the case. Thank you very much. Your Lordship.
Kir and who? Warang,
Yeah,
Kir?
this is Wurnyang. Yes, these the names. Yes, Advocate Deng John Deng and Advocate Wurnyang Kir Wurnyang. And this is the list, Honorable Courts, and the application. This is the list. No, Kalas. This is verbal. Thank you.
محكمة الوقرة.
Excuse. You see, yesterday or the day before yesterday, like we agreed that whatever you are presenting, it should be in writing. So if it is written,
Yes, written we have.
you give us a copy.
Yes, the last paragraph.
Defense,
The last paragraph, yes, we have it.
the
And
defense
this is for the
copy.
defense. This is for the
And then
defense. The last paragraph of the objection. Yes. It is in the last page.
it's all right, it's okay. We will read it. It is written here. For the defense, you have also
We are ready مولاي. احنا جاهزين للرد على الطلب الذي تقدم به الإخوة في هيئة الاتهام، رغم أن هذه جلسة محددة.
Excuse, you also respond, but also it should be in nutshells, so that you get us the written form of your response.
مولاي
تفضل.
كله جاهز. الريتن فورم از ريدي. هنقدمه للمحكمة الموقرة باللغة الإنجليزية.
تفضل.
وفي النسخة الصورة منها باللغة العربية هنديها للمحكمة، وبعد ذلك بنقدم الصورة باللغة الإنجليزية للمحكمة، لكن أنا هرد باللغة العربية على ما تقدم به الزملاء في الاتهام. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه، آمين. جمهورية جنوب السودان، السلطة القضائية لدى المحكمة الخاصة لحادثة الناصر جوبا 2025. الموضوع محاكمة المتهمين الدكتور رياك مشار النائب الأول لرئيس جمهورية السودان، جمهورية جنوب السودان، وسبع آخرون. القضية الجنائية رقم 15/33/2025 تحت أحكام المواد 48 50 52 61 62 64 65 66 67 70 71 72 75 76 على 206 239 من قانون العقوبات لدولة جنوب السودان لسنة 2008، والمواد 15 ألف وباء، والمادة 16 من قانون مكافحة غسيل الأموال وتمويل الإرهاب لسنة 2012 تعديل 2024. الموضوع رد الدفاع على اعتراض النائب العام بشأن ظهور المحامين المكلفين بالدفاع عن النائب الأول نائب الرئيس دكتور رياك مشار وآخرين. سعادة الرئيس وأعضاء المحاكمة وأعضاء المحكمة الموقرين، بعد واجب التقدير والاحترام التي تليق بمقام عدالتكم وبالإشارة إلى الموضوع له، نلتمس شاكرين السماح لنا بالرد على اعتراض النائب العام بشأن ظهور بعض من زملائنا في الدفاع أن المتهمين الماثلين أمام المحكمة، وذلك على النحو الآتي: أولا، حق الدفاع وأصالة اختيار المحامي. سيد الرئيس، أن الحق في الدفاع حجر زاوية في منظومة العدالة الجنائية، وهو مكفول دستوريا وقانونيا ودوليا بموجب الأحكام التالية: واحد، المادة 19 الفقرة 7 والمادة 36 الفقرة 2 و3 من الدستور الانتقالي لسنة 2011، والتي تنص على الآتي: لكل متهم الحق في الوقت الكافي لإعداد دفاعه والتواصل مع محاميه يختاره. المادة 184 من قانون الإجراءات الجنائية لسنة 2008 وتنص على الآتي: يحق للمتهم أن يمثل بمحامي للدفاع عنه. 3، المادة 14 3 باء من العهد الدولي الخاص بالحقوق المدنية والسياسية، وتفيد بأن لكل متهم الحق في محاكمة عادلة واختيار محاميه بحرية. وبناء على ما نصت إليه في المواد السابقة، فإن أي محاولة لتغيير هذا الحق تمثل انتهاكا صارخا للدستور والقانون الدولي ثانيا تعسف نقابة المحامين وانعكاسها على حق الدفاع. المتهمون اختاروا الأستاذ ورنيان كير والأستاذ دين جون للدفاع عنهم في إجراءات هذه الدعوة الماثلة أمامكم لما يتمتعان به من كفاءة على الرغم من استيفائهما شروط التجديد. رفضت النقابة تجديد بطاقاتهم دون مبرر قانوني بما يمثل استعمالا تأسفيا للسلطة وعرقلة لحق الدفاع. 3. أن أحكام المادة 25 الفقرة 2 من قانون المحاماة لسنة 2013 أتاح للسيد نقيب المحامين منفردا سلطة منح المحامي إذنا خاصا للظهور في قضية محددة عند الطلب، وقد تم رفض الطلب دون مبرر قانوني. التناقض بين موقف النقابة الرسمي ودعمها المزعوم للمحاكمة العادلة وممارستها في الحرمان الفعلي من حق الدفاع يعكس إخلالا جوهريا بحق الدفاع. وأنا شخصيا اتصلت على نقيب المحامين قبل هذه المحاكمة، اتصلت عليه وقلت له أنا قادم إليك لمناقشة هذا الموضوع، ولكن عندما ذهبت إليه فر بجلده وترك المكتب خاليا. ثالثا أولوية حق الدفاع على القواعد الإجرائية. الحق في الدفاع لا يجوز تقييده بهجج إدارية أو تنظيمية مثل صلاحية البطاقة المهنية أو العضوية النقابية، وهذا ما أكده الفقيه الأستاذ الدكتور فتحي سرور أن الحق في الدفاع هو تاج العدالة الجنائية ولا يقيد ولا يساوم عليه. إننا في إجراءات هذه المحاكمة ومن واقع ممارسة مهنة المحاماة إننا لدينا إرث في دولة السودان عندما كنا جزء من تلك الدولة لن يحدث مثل هذه التصرفات. إن تأخر المحامي عن تجديد رخصته يتقدم بالطلب للنقابة لتجديد رخصته ويذكر الأسباب التي دعته للتأخير، يلزم بدفع غرامة رمزية ويسمح له بتجديد رخصته. ولكن ما بين ذاك الزمن وهذا يحدث مفارقات لا نعلم من أين أتى نقيب المحامين بهذه الممارسة التي لا تليق بمهنة المحاماة. بل أيضا أكدت ذلك صراحة اللجنة المعنية بحقوق الإنسان بالأمم المتحدة الحق في اختيار محامي بحرية جزء أساسي من المحاكمة العادلة. بل ونشير أيضا لسان جون برودو القانون الفرنسي، محكمة الاستئناف البريطانية، محكمة لاهاي، احترام اختيار المحامي عنصر أساسي لصيغة المجتمع في العدالة ولا يجوز فرض تمثيل قانوني ضد رغبة المتهم. رابعا الأهمية القانونية للمحامين المخولين. 1. أن حجر الأساس الأول في الدفاع يمثل هؤلاء المحامين العمود الفقري في حماية الحقوق القانونية للمتهمين في القضايا الحساسة، وأن الساعد الأيمن للمتهمين تم اختيار بتفويض رسمي وممحور بتوقيع المتهمين مما يمنحهم الحق الكامل في الدفاع دون تقييد. على مدى السنوات الماضية وحتى الآن لم يكن هنالك من يجاهر بالدفاع عن المتهمين في القضايا الحساسة ضد الدولة إلا هؤلاء المحامين، مما يجعل العمود الفقري الأول في حماية الحقوق القانونية للمتهمين أن هذه المحكمة الجنائية الخاصة تتمتع بإجراءات استثنائية، ويملك قضاتها السلطة المطلقة في اعتماد المحامين الذين يختارهم المتهمين، وهذا ما أكدته أحكام المادة 182 من قانون الإجراءات الجنائي لسنة 2008، والتي تنص يجوز لأي محامي مرخص له بصفة عامة بممارسة العمل أمام المحاكم الجنائية في جنوب السودان وأن يحضر يترافع فأي إجراء من الإجراءات الجنائية، كما يجوز لأي محكمة أن ترخص لأي شخص آخر بالعمل كمترافع أمامها. أن الذي يحدث للزملاء في الدفاع على حسب الادعاءات الذي تقدم به الإخوة في الاتهام، نؤكد لهم بأن الذي يحدث هو عبارة عن ترسبات تلكم العملية الانتخابية التي جرت بدولة جنوب السودان، والتي جرت بهذه القاعة، حيث كان الأستاذ دين جون الناطق الرسمي باسم مجموعة الإصلاح والازدهار، وكان الأستاذ وارنيان دائم لتلك الحملة الانتخابية، لذا أصر نقيب المحامين.
أستاذ سكور، نحن ما اتفقنا إنه نحن نديكم فرص،
وبناء على ذلك
excuse please you listen. نحن اتفقنا على إنه الناس اللي بيقدموا طلب يخشوا في نقاط ويقدموا طلبهم، وانتوا لما تردوا تخشوا في نقاط تقدموا طلبكم كتابة. الانزلاق للخطابات وضياع الوقت ما بفيدنا.
مولاي
نرجو اسكيوز تركز واقتصر وجيب لي المكتوب بتاعك.
أنا خلينا أكمل وبنسلمك المكتوب. وبناء على ذلك وبناء على تلك النص، فإن المحكمة الموقرة السلطة الكاملة في منح الإذن للمحامين المذكورين للترافع دون الحاجة لموافقة نقابة المحامين، وأي اعتراض على ظهور المحامين المخولين يمثل انتهاكا مباشرا للحق الدستوري في الدفاع، بل وأن الدفع عدم تجديد العضوية من النقابة لمن يحمل رخصة ممارسة المهنة غير جوهري ولا يؤثر على حقهم في الدفاع أمام المحكمة الخاصة، بل هي مجرد محاولة يائسة من الزملاء في الاتهام ولا يحمل أي قيمة جوهرية. خامسا، نلتمس من المحكمة الموقرة رفض الاعتراض المقدم من السيد المدعي العام بمنع ظهور المحامين لما يمثله ذلك من انتهاك للحق الدستوري والدولي في الدفاع، السماح للمحامين المكلفين من قبل المتهمين بترافعه في هذه الدعوة، وشكرا.
شكرا. Give us the written copy.
المحكمة الموقرة ده صورة من الرد على الطلب الذي تقدم به الاتهام، وما هو طلب تفويض من المتهمين للمحامين الذين تم الاعتراض عليهم من قبل الاتهام. شكرا.
Honorable Court, the prosecution.
عندك تعقيب؟
عندي تعقيب. Yes.
تفضل.
Yes. The prosecution is very clear in their application, and we insist that it is the provision of the transitional constitutions of the Republic of South Sudan 2011 11 as amended, Article 136, sub 3, that advocacy shall be regulated by the law. And the law in question here is the Advocate Act of 2013, which is very clear under the cited section, which is talking about the advocate shall be licensed. This is number one. Number two, the decision to license the advocates are the decision of the Bar Council, according to the law, not the decision of the court. And the said advocate would have been, or they're supposed to contest the alleged decision that they said they were rejected not to be licensed. Maybe they are not fulfill the requirement for being licensed as an advocate. All the cited jurisprudence are not relevant, are not binding to the court, and the court should abide by the Constitution and by the law. And the section 182 of the Code of Criminal Procedure that have been cited is require a licensed advocate. Advocate who is not complying with the law should not be allowed to defend the accused persons. If the accused fail to find any suitable advocate, the law gives the government right to find who will be defend the accused as the legal aid. So the prosecution is insisting and requesting the court to send those advocates outside of the defense and to be seated with the public outside. Thank you very much.
Do you have written response?
This is our response.
It is verbal?
Yes, verbal, yes.
That's all right.
Yes.
Thank you.
According to the Constitution and the law.
Okay, you're welcome. Sit down.
Yes, thank you.
Your Lordship.
Excuse.
Thank you.
We finished. You see, it was the view of this court to conduct these trials on daily basis. But we realized that this is not giving time or chance to the parties to prepare and to properly prepare for the next session. Number two, the court also to have time to easily look into long written pleadings by the parties. Number three, the public at large is to be given chance to exercise its works normally, for we recognized the role of the security forces in controlling the situation, and that is good. But also there is need to consider the need of the citizens to go to their work without being disturbed. For example, the institution like the university and other nearby business. It is this balance of interests. The court decided to defer this section to the coming Monday on the 29th September 2025 at 9:30 a.m. for the decision on the objection presented by the defense team and the objections that's presented by the prosecution now.
Your Lordship.
Therefore, the court is adjourned for that time. Thank you.
Go!
Yeah, thank you very much, viewers of South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation. As witnessed in the courtroom, the court has just adjourned up to September 29th September, 2025 at 9 a.m. To look through the objection presented by both teams, and that is when maybe it will present its final judgment on who to rule over. The cases involving the 8 suspects. And as witnessed, I think I'll hand you over to my colleague Martin Joseph for more update on what has happened in the court. Martin Joseph, please.
Thank you so much, Leila Osman. The morning court sessions have been adjourned to 29th, that is Monday, to allow the court understand and go through the objections from both parties, the prosecution and the defense. And the court also raised concern about the daily activities of the public. So in this case, it has given more time to let the public also go about their business, whereby the nearby premises will be opened, leading to the adjournment of the proceedings to Monday. And this will allow the court to go through all the long script being written by both parties, prosecution and defense team. And during this session, several issues were put forward. From the prosecution team, they raised the concern of some advocates being allowed in from the defense team, bringing in unlicensed advocates to come and attend the proceedings, arguing to the court these individuals should be sent out of the courtroom or allowed to sit in public, instead to be part of the attendance, to be able now to witness the proceedings rather than participating in the argument in this court hearing. From now, let me give the microphone to Peter Mori. Okay, let's go to the studio. Let's go to Gore Anthony to give you more updates about the proceedings. For now, it has been adjourned to 29th Monday. So get prepared. A lot more of these are coming up.
From my colleagues down at the courtroom, Martin Joseph, Leila Osman, Peter Mori, as well as Martin Justin Kose. You've been following closely the court proceedings presided over by 3 presiding over judges, that is led by Dr. James Alaladeng, who is the presiding over judge. And this is, of course, is the 3rd session of the court proceedings for the suspected Port Council, and also Dr. Riek Machar plus other military and political members of the opposition. Of course, viewers, if you could remember very well, the court process is started from the first day, the second day, which was yesterday, Tuesday, and today the 3rd day, which is the Wednesday. And of course, there are a lot that happened. So far, we are seeing some bit of progress that is happening. As you could see, the first day, the attendance was a little bit fewer. To the second day, it increased, but today Freedom Hall is actually full to the brim. This shows the impartiality that our public or members of the region and international community have been saying. They've been waiting to hear that or to see that this court proceeding has to be actually accessible to people, and this has been actually echoed several times by the presiding judge, that is Dr. James Alala, who has said that it is for the public consumption, and any member of the public who have to has that zeal to come and attend the court processes, he or she is welcome to attend the session. Of course, as we said from the beginning, viewers, the process of the verdict or the judgment has not yet been started. And what we are now, we are still on the establishment of the special court. There are some, pulling of rope between the defense team and the prosecution team. And based on the jurisdiction that the defense team was saying, that there is, they are saying that there is a need for this court not to be able to try the suspected, while the prosecution team gave their ground. Yesterday, they wrote a detailed report saying the court is competent to be able to try the 8 suspected individuals who are actually connected to the incident that took place in Nasir this year on 3rd of March. And of course, viewers, as the court procession is started today by the introduction of both parties, starting from the prosecution team, the defense team, as well as the accused who happen also to be part or happened to be present at the courtroom. All the accused were there. Now, what came out of today's session? What came out actually is that there is some bit of understanding so far. Both the advocates from the defense team as well as the prosecution team, they are a little bit getting somehow to some bit of understanding and some bit of normality and harmony, and only that there were some number of issues that were raised, that were put across by the defense team in the names of Advocate Kurlwal, who mentioned that some of the lawyers or some of the advocates who are being hired in the defense team, some of them don't have license. They are not accredited, or their license may have got expired, and some IDs. So according to him, they went and met credible government institution to be able to renew their license, and according to him, he said some of them were not given access, or some of their license are not being renewed. But also on the prosecution side, that is led by Advocate Maulana Shukri, he actually defended the ground, saying that the government or there are other institutions like the Bar Association and other institutions of the government who are responsible to make sure they issue license to credible advocates. And this can be done only if you fulfill some obligations. So this alone tell that Shukri asked the presiding over judge to issue directives to let out those who happen to be members of the defense team to leave the courtroom or sit in the next upper room or the other side of the room to be like those who are attending the court. So this is where the courtroom actually happened. This is what happened in the courtroom. But remember, the presiding over judge, that is Dr. James Alala, then also made important point. Some of the important point he made is that the few days that the court has been starting, there are some bit of challenges that has been happening in the country or in the town, especially the vicinity of Nyakron Market, University of Juba. These are some of the concerns he put across, and he said it is out of his need, that out of his will, that as a presiding judge, that this court should be going on daily basis. But due to the some of the challenges, if all of you viewers could remember that this court, because it's near the campus of University of Juba, that is at Custom, and these students were carrying out exams. So for this matter, the presiding over judge, that is Dr. James Alala, mentioned that he will have to actually push or adjourn the court to Monday, 29th of September 2025, to be able also to give chance to the ordinary citizen to carry out their daily activities, those who are carrying out businesses, because there is a market nearby. For those viewers of ours who are not close to Juba, there is a market, Nyakuron Market, close to to the court premises. Also, there is a University of Juba campus of custom, and so the presiding over judge was so much concerned about this, and he said he doesn't want the court to be able to affect the daily activities of both the students and the economic activities in the country. Therefore, the adjournment or the pushing of this court proceeding to 29, according to him, will also allow citizens to be able to carry out their daily activities smoothly. And then that very day, the 29th, finally the jury, the three presiding over judges, that is led by Dr. James Alala, plus Justice Stephen Simon and Justice Isaac Purmajok, they will sit on 29th on Monday at 9 a.m. to be able now to pass verdict. They will give actually judgment now. Issues raised by the prosecution team and issues raised by the defense team, now they will pass judgment saying either to the objections that was given by the defense team or the support and some of the objection also given by the prosecution team. But the end results of this is to ensure that the process moves on smoothly. And as I said from the beginning to the viewers to our people who are watching, is that this process is credible and it is accessible for all the public domain. As you could see today, also journalists were allowed to be able to cover this. And this is the impartiality and fairness and fair trial that our people were calling for. We say SSBC will still remain committed to ensure that this event continue to be relayed to you. To sum up, is that once again we have a number of quotes or number of quotations of some of the legal justice scholars who made some quotes on judgment or on some of rule of law. It says, it is essential that justice be done, and it is equally vital that justice not to be confused with revenge, for the two are wholly different. That's one of the quotes. The other quote is that by scholar John Locke once said, I quote, the end of the law is not to abolish and retrain, but to preserve and enlarge freedom. Next, case of trial is basically a structural process where the facts of the cases are presented to a jury, and they decide if the defendant or the accused is guilty or not guilty of charges offered. During the trial, prosecutor uses witnesses and evidences to prove the jury that the defendant committed the crime. This process would follow when the presiding judges, the defense lawyers, or the team finally agreed on the competence of the established special court to try the accused and their associate. With that, viewers, upholding to the rule of law and the guiding principles of the country's sovereignty is what matters in this event. And we'll say, stay tuned to SSBC. Let's meet again on 29th of Monday, 29th September 2025, same time, live on SSBC, both on our YouTube account, SSBC Official, and Facebook account, SSBC, and we are going to be, as always, live on streaming live from the courtroom and SSBC studio. With this, viewers, I want to say thank you for joining us from the first day till today, and thanks to all our colleagues who were on the ground or the courtroom, and also our colleague on the control room. Thank you so much, and stay tuned to SSBC for the rest of our programs. Bye for now.